Hello there guys, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to talk about a documentary about persons with mental illnesses. So without further ado, let's start.
Si Amelia. Amelia. Hi, Amelia. Mabuti na. Okay ka na? Oo nga, ang kalma-kalma mo na, oh. Nakapagpahinga ka na. Nagulat ako nang nalawin ko si Amelia pagkatapos niyang makalabas ng mental. Dito sa sarili nilang tirahan sa Angeles, Pampanga, sa piling ng kanyang pamilya at mga anak. Larawan siya ng isang karaniwang ina na may bahay. Para akong namalikmata sa nakita ko. Ewan ko kung anong ginawa nila sa kanya sa Amerika, pero 5 araw pa lang ang nakakaraan, ibang-iba na siya. Noon, larawan siya ng isang babae na babaliw.
Just giving me chills. Oh, seriously. It's just frustrating. Oh.
Pangatlong beses na ni Amelia sa mental. Nag-umpisa siyang masiraan ng bait noong 1994. Papauwi na noon mula Saudi ang asawa niyang si Ray. Kaya sabik na sabik siya. Kaso, nagkagulo-gulo sa schedule at na-delay ang pag-uwi. Sobra siyang nadismaya at hindi yata nakayanan. Nagsabi ang asawa ko, hindi ako naglalaki. Hindi ako nagmamagana. Hindi ako susunod. Ako nagmamagana. At nagsabi ang asawa. Ang asawa ko niloloko ko nagpapahinga na sa mga Saudi Arabia.
Siya talagang natutulog. Tapos, sultan-sultan mo naman sinasabi niya. Tapos, pagka pinipigil ko naman, nagagalit.
Gusto ko ilalakad ako sa mga ilalakad ako sa mga mahal ko ba yun? Dahil ang Panginoon daw, galit na galit, ha? Hanggat maaari sana, ayaw nilang dalhin si Amelia sa mental. Wala na ngang pambayad, mawawalay pa siya sa kanila. Pero wala na rin silang magawa. Talagang malala na siya.
They're all tied up like animals. Stop. But as you can see, though she have this illness, she still remembers all the details in her life, as well as the painful ones. So let's move on. Oh.
Nawawala sa sala ang tawag sa mga taong tulungan niya. Pero siya ang tatanungin, paano yung mga nagsasabi niya ang may sira sa mundo? Ang nakakapagtaka, nakakausap nga sila. Nakakaintindi sila ng tanong. Weird nga lang ang mga sagot. February 3, 1994 po, sa Bulacan po galing.
See what I'm saying? They remember every single detail of their lives.
Dahil po ang asawa ko, dumating po siya January 1st, 1994 na. Ano bang dahilan? Kapag ka ngayon siya? Ang tipo nila, alam ko, puro Panginoon, inuutos ko lahat sa akin. Ang asawa mo nag-Saudi, nagbabayad ka nagbabayad. Ilan taon ka na?
As Filipinos, they say, sinasabi nila that we are very religious, so often this hallucination. What?
Hallucination.
Thank you. Hallucination that they are experience are often it's about God or the devil that is talking to them. No, that's kind of creepy and spooky in my side. So yeah, let's just continue.
Anong ginawa sa'yo sa National Center?
Sa mental po, nakahiga lang po, nakatali kami, kamit pa.
I'm starting to think that she's a foreigner.
Nung nakita ka namin doon, nung unang araw na nagpunta ka roon, talagang tuloy-tuloy yung pagsasalita mo. Tapos kumakanta ka. Alam mo ba yung nangyayari sa'yo?
Alam ko po yun.
Bakit, kung alam mo, bakit hindi mo matigil? Hindi mo
Hindi ko po
matigil?
napigil, diretso.
Natatandaan mo yung ginawa sa'yo ng mga doktor?
Opo, in-injectionan po ako dito sa braso.
See? Surprisingly, all the details were seems fresh as they respond to the interview. I mean, Amelia in particular. Yeah, that's a great motivation to tell yourself that you're in pain, but yeah, you're forgetting about the perspective of having pain. Nah, it's just a distraction.
Ako nasa kaliwa ha, left yan ha, left yan ha, left ito ha, hindi ako nasasaktan, left yan ha, kaliwa ito ha, kaliwa yan ha, kaliwa yan, in-injection na lang ha, kaliwa yan ha, ganito na, ako, sobrang bait ko talaga. Ang hindi makakalimutan ni Amelia, ang gamot na nagdulot daw ng malaking tulong sa kanya, yung tawagin ay electroconvulsive therapy.
Or ECT.
Ito
Yeah.
yung kinoriente siya.
We studied that. My goodness. Whew. I remember this game that I played called Outlast, and that game reminded me of this. This is the exact thing that they are doing there. But only it's a different purpose. For in that game, they're torturing those who have mental illnesses. But this case, not to get the wrong misconception about this documentary, they're trying to treat them. So it is positive, and unlike in the game, which I am really experiencing tremendous fear as I play that game, it's a totally different situation here. So yeah.
Anong nararamdaman mo pag iniisip?
Ang sakit po. Umaaray kami sa ano. Aray, sakit. Sakit po pag kinukuryente.
God, it's painful to watch.
Nararamdaman mo yung pagkuryente?
Opo, dito, ibibigay. Kahit nga po, may mga gas-gas din ako.
Ay, sa ECT yan.
Ay, po yan.
Pero pagkatapos ng ECT, kumakalma ka ba? Anong nangyayari sa'yo?
Tulog.
Po kami.
Yeah.
Ngayon, kailangan uminom
They
siya
feel
ng
relief
2
after the
beses sa isang
ECT,
araw
the
para
the
mabalanse
electroconvulsive
ang mga
therapy.
utak niya. Ang chemical imbalance daw sa utak ang siyang sanhi ng sakit niyang ito.
Yeah.
So, okay ka na.
Okay na kita. Pag-interview nila, nalausap nila po bago palabas eh. Kung hindi po nakasagot, hindi po palalabas eh. Pag hindi tama yung sagot, nagtatanong po sa inyo. Katawan tao, pagkabuhay na mabuhay.
Sa harap ng kanyang munting altar, napapagpuan ni Amelia ang kanyang karaniwang katauhan. Yun ay kung hindi niya malilimutang uminom ng gamot. Kung hindi, baka mabalik mental na naman siya. Ayaw na ayaw niya doon. At hindi rin siya sisisi. Noong 1930s, ibang-iba ang paraan ng pag-aalaga ng mga pasyente dito sa mental. Ang tawag sa mga hospital worker, bastonero. Hinahampas sila ng basto ng mga
Before that, I would just like to give emphasis, guys, to the treatment that Amelia, the woman, actually, the contribution of the person, Amelia, to her condition was the tremendous faith that she have in God. But nevertheless, all the things that cured her were because of her family and the treatment. What truly cured her was the genuine love and care that her family have for her. She was mended with care, attention, and effort by her family. And also, of course, the treatment, the electroconvulsive therapy and medications that led her to a relief from hallucinations, delusions that she had been suffering with. This electroconvulsive therapy was used first in 1747 after that to cure insanity. And to make it possible, they used 450 volts of direct current or DC and running 0.9 amps per 6 seconds. So it is like starting a engine itself. So yeah, after that they will feel relief. All the whispering things in their heads, the hallucinations, it will just go away in a snap, and it will cause them to fall asleep. So let's move on.
pasyente para makasunod ang mga ito. Gumagamit pa sila ng hose, pampakalma. At ang mga pasyente naman, sinasabitan ng mga maliliit na kulungan sa libig upang magsilbing pala ng kanilang paglapit. Malinis at tahimik ang itsura ng mental hospital. Kung
That's
titignan
the
sa
worst.
labas, walang anumang indikasyon ng katotohanan umiiral sa loob.
Yeah.
Nung itinayo ito noong 1928, liblib na lugar pa raw ang Mandaluyong. Tamang-tamang lugar para sa mga taong mulat sa pool itinuturing ng may isang sakit na dapat itago at iwasan.
Tawag nila nun, mga asylums, ang hospitals were called asylums. During that time, most of the psychiatrists were even called alienistic.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That was the part that I am very scared. The greatest fear of mine was going to a mental hospital, though I tried to conquer them by playing or watching movies that involves asylums like this one. But as I witnessed their condition, my perception about them with the tremendous fear that I have within me, it all washed away by this mercy in me. The heart felt sorry for them, as well as the genuine concern that I have for them right now. Look at that, we're only in the quarter of the documentary rather, but I already have these realizations that we shouldn't have judged them by the way they move, they act, but we have to help them because they're helpless and they don't want that. So yeah, let's move on.
National Center for Mental Health o NCMH. Ito na ang pinakamalaki at
may init, ito po naman
My goodness. It's worse, they're even eating with a cat. And the floor is so dirty. Grabe, 10 years, can you imagine living in that place?
Mahigit lang 400 milyong piso ang budget ng mental nitong nakaraang taon. Kung paghahatian sa may 3,500 pasyente, pumapatak sa 110 pesos ang budget sa bawat pasyente araw-araw. Hindi pa kasama doon ang pagbibigyan sa mga pasyente.
100 pesos, while me, every day at school, you gave me 200 pesos, giving me 200 pesos a day. Oh.
Karamihan, consultant lamang.
Yeah, this is true. When we were studying social science, our professor mentioned that psychologists and psychiatrists are the most need of our country. But it is also the least professions that as Filipinos, especially as teenagers, have least attention in. So, those brave Filipinos out there, this is my encouragement to you that you should take the psychiatry and psychology program in order for us to help our fellow Filipinos, which are, as what I have said a while ago, helpless.
Mental health workers. Hindi lahat gustong, not many would like to go into psychiatry. And the ratio, I think, to 100,000 Filipinos, hindi pa ata tayo nakabuo ng one psychiatrist. And most of the psychiatrists that we have are practicing basically in Manila. Either nasa mga city center, Manila, Davao, Cebu.
At marami pang kulang. Kitang-kita naman, madalas naubusan ng gamot ang butika nila.
Yeah, aside from lacking all these materials, I'm running the facility. Also, as you can see, the nurses, the assistants in working the facility, they're already old. I already watched half of the video, the documentary, but I haven't yet still seen any young nurses working in the facility.
At pati pa yung mga kinukuryente, hindi na nabibigyan ng anesthesia. Masyadong magastos. Iisa
Being
lang ang
electrocuted in the brain without anesthesia, it is like torture. Look at their situation.
Ayon sa mga pag-aaral, madalas mag-umpisa ang sakit sa pag-iisip sa mga edad ng 25 to 32 years old sa mga tao. Mas maaari pa sa mga tao.
Hmm.
Kadalasang dumadami ang mga sakit. Ang ibig sabihin, sa napakamurang edad, sila na
17 years old. Actually, these are well observed here in our country because as Filipinos, we often strive to be the best there is. And when we fail on doing so, we experience anxiety and severe depression, which leads to this mental illness. And as for my view, my advice to you guys, especially teenagers like me, read your Bible and be stronger in faith and relationship in God. That's the three things that you must do in order to conquer this mental illness, because the stresses that we have, it may be in school or the things around us, our family, we should not keep that inside our hearts, but instead we need to release it in order to breathe out and bring back the proper disposition that you should have in living each day of your life. And always remember, you only live once, so make the most of every second of your life, make it memorable and productive, and also be fruitful in God's missions.
Hindi lang nakakaawa ang sakit sa utak, pero ito magdadala pa ang pagkakalaman ng mahahabang
karamdaman sa pag-isip, thought disturbance na ang pagtakbo ng isipan niya nagkakaroon ng mga kung yung tinatawag natin na hallucinations.
Yeah, hallucinations.
Mga bagay na nakikita sila o naririnig na hindi nakikita natin mga kanila. Ang delusions naman, ito yung mga maling paniniwala na hindi maaaring correct ng dahilan.
Namamahaan na sa kabila ng mga kababayan, wala pa rin ganap na nakakaunawa sa utak ng tao. Kung paano mo mag-isip at kung bakit
Having mental illness is like taking the philosophy out of you, or the reasoning out of you, for they cannot control themselves anymore. The moral judgment, they are no longer having that instinct within themselves of thinking what am I doing is right and wrong, and what's the difference between that. So let's continue.
bakit ito natulog parang isang computer na nagkakagulo ng mga bagay sa loob. May iyak ng iyak. Meron namang tawa ng tawa.
The longer they suffer these mental illnesses, the more they are losing their identity or their self. This is like a distortion in God's purpose in you, on why you are here on earth. This is really bad. This is a serious thing that our government should look into it.
Sinong nakakaalam kung bakit nagkaganito ang mga isipan nila? Dito sa mental, natauhan ako. Hindi ko makuha ang ibang malaking higit ng pag-isip. Wala namang makapagsasabi. Hindi kailanman. At nasakit din ang mental.
As soon as we look at their lives in the facility, the mentality of ours, the part of our judgment in which mocking them suddenly vanish. For all that is left in your heart is the how could this happen to them? Why do they have to suffer this much? They are human beings like us, but the difference between us and theirs is that they are like in a cell physically, but also emotionally, mentally. I'm having a hard.
Board yata, board yata siya, tapos sa site namin tito mo, yung tito ko naman yung case niya, parang problem na broken hearted. So, dalawang tito mo.
Yeah, that's another thing on getting mental illnesses. It may be genetically or hereditary transferred from one generation to another.
Pero kung ano-anong malalasong bagay ang pinagagawa sa kanya, na ginagawa naman niya hanggang sa pagtanda. Narinig mo yung boses. Parang may narinig na boses. Sa buong ospital, ang pamilyang ito na yata ang pinaka-pinapangarap ng bawat pasyente. Ito ang rehab ward.
The reporter earlier, Lucci, have mentioned these rich personals which are hiding inside the facility in order. Just imagine a corrupt man going in there just to escape the justice and righteousness he destroyed. For me, that is the real shame of the community, not these patients that severely affected by the stigma that they are experiencing.
Ang pinakamaayos at tahimik na pamilya na nakita ko dito sa Verde. Maayos ang paligid, malinis, maaliwalas. Tumaas na naman. Anong pagkakaintindi mo sa sakit ng nanay? Sa something na naiintindihan mo nun, ano yung naiintindihan mo tungkol sa sakit ng nanay? Hindi mo alam kung ano yung sakit ng nanay mo.
Hindi na kami naman ikaw ako dito ha. Siyempre lahat kami dito at nahihirapan sa kanyang sitwasyon. Kasi dati kami nakatibaybay sa kanya at kami kuya.
That's what I'm talking about. The time, effort. If you really want your loved one to be cured, you should do part on taking care of her, not just the continuously going through that electroconvulsive therapy. It is not good for us to just disregard these matters in which concerning our fellow persons, fellow humans. They are not animals to be treated this way. Well, as the video ended, we have 4 more questions here that needs to be answered. Does it affect your life and why? Yes, it did affect me big time. Made me realize how lucky I am to have God with me, because back then the old me was my mind was always troubled by things that are no longer in my reach. There's nothing I could do about them, but still they haunt my mind even in the nights, causing me to have sleepless nights, of course. And as I continued to walk in faith with God, I felt that I shouldn't be taken over by my guilt, shame, hatred, flaws, as well as the expectations of other people towards me. For I have my God, and I know that He already have overtaken the world. So no guilt, shame, or whatever that this thing world has to offer against you is no longer effective, or they already have no power against you. Next question. What lessons that you learned from the documentary? Well, of course, I learned that I should frequently deal with the fatigue and be more relaxed each day. Also, to enjoy every moment of my life, whether it is bad or good, and seeing them as God's greatest blessing in each day of my life, than facing them with tremendous fear and worry. For it won't help us to have great progress and be fruitful as what God created us to be. Our purpose is to be fruitful, right? So we should not take it as negative. Yeah, fear, worries, doubts, hatred about the world. We should let those things go, for it will cause us nothing good, but instead it will drag us down until we find ourselves in a huge pit without anything to grab on, to climb again, and to have hope again, as what these people have experienced. They no longer have that strength and courage to face the hallucinations that they are experiencing. So what happened is that all of these things, negative things, have taken over their lives, their brain. They can no longer function well. They can no longer fulfill the purpose of us to be fruitful as part of God's mission. Alright, second to the last question. Which of Ekman's emotion triggers you the most and why? But first, before I answer this question, Ekman's emotions are 6. We usually know 5 emotions, but in Ekman's emotion, we have 6. There we have fear, disgust, anger, sadness, happiness. Am I missing something? No, yeah, surprise. That is what added into his emotions. And among those emotions, what I felt at first was fear, and then later on, as I have watched this documentary, I felt sadness. Why? Why fear? Fear for what scares me truly in my life were asylums and insane people. I look at them as troubles, harmful, and yeah, they are uncontrollable, and you don't know what will they will do next against you. So yeah, it really scares me a lot. And then after watching the documentary, it changed my fear into genuine concern and heartfelt sorry about their conditions. So I felt sad because I couldn't believe that there is a thing just like in the movies. I only see those situations and conditions in movies, but I have no idea that they are in real life, and they are much worse. Imagine seeing those people eating beside a dirty canal, and the cats are eating with them. The food was worse. They're eating tasteless food for the rest of their stay on that facility. And what is much worse is that they have stayed in that facility for more than a decade. Some of them they think that they will die there without any help getting from other people or the government, or somehow getting themselves cured from what they suffering on. Yeah. Finally, guys, the last question: what are you going to do if you'll be given a chance to help the characters and solve the problem in the documentary? Actually, as a teenager right now, I don't have any means to support them nor to give solutions to the problem of these people. But if I have given the chance to be a volunteer in a mental facility, I should first give them all the things that I could donate to support them, such as money, food, and garments, because some of them they are just sleeping on the cold floor, and some of them doesn't have undergarments. They poop, then after that they will just put their garments on again. And what's the most important thing that I would like to do is to preach to all of them to have faith in God, that He is more powerful than the whispers, hallucinations, delusions that they are experiencing, to fight it, to take heart and stand against it. For nothing is powerful than God's grace. I will teach them what things to do in order to have this Holy Spirit within you that is burning, keeps on giving you strength and helping you to do the right judgments. And as for them, they have lost their judgment. The only thing that they can think of is the hallucinations and delusions they are experiencing, which is horrible. It's a nightmare continuously haunting them until they die. So I would like also to, well, if I am already capable, I would like to give funds for the National Mental Health Facility or Center. For they only have 110 pesos for every person in there to support the every needs, as well as the medicine, the foods, etc. Also, in that 110 pesos per person, all the maintenance and the salary of the nurses are also included. So that's how miserable the government is doing among these people. So if I am already capable, I would like to donate half of my monthly salary to those people. I am not worried that I may lose, but I am grateful for, I know that that small help that I could give to them will brighten them up, and maybe it's not a miracle, it may help them to be cured and experiences more better quality of services of mental facilities that this country has.